the second day at like 2 in the morning, she really wasn't feeling well. So my dad and her went to the hospital, and they said that there was nothing wrong, which obviously that wasn't the case. I was homesick for 2 days. The first day, she was feeling just great, and then towards the evening, she was kind of like feeling like her stomach was like upset, and she thought it was just maybe like a regular common cold. So she didn't really go to the doctor, and she doesn't really care for the doctors anyways. So like she tried avoiding going to the doctor. I was in the bedroom watching TV, and my dog wanted to come in, and so like he was scratching at the door for like quite a while, barking, and I was like, maybe I should go probably let him in, and I felt like God kind of told me, no, I want you to stay here, because He didn't want me to walk out there while she was passing away. After a while, um, my TV show was over with, and I thought I'd go let my dog in, and she was just sitting on the couch, and there was like no reaction or anything, and it was really scary because you don't hardly ever walk into a room with someone who's passed away, and like when you experience that, it's really like you're not sure, and it's like when like you check for a pulse or something. It's like I don't know if that's her pulse or if it's my pulse because my adrenaline's gone. And so I called my dad and I said, "Hey, Dad, could you come home? Because I think we have an accident at home." And he was like, "What's up?" I'm like, "I think Mom passed away." The hardest part about it was my neighbor came over because he saw the ambulance outside, and he was like, "Well, what's up?" And I was like, "My mom, I think she passed away." So he went into the house with my dad and like the officers and the medics, and my neighbor was the one who told me that she passed away. And it was probably like the hardest news you could ever get. That was probably like the lowest I've ever been spiritually, physically, just so down. Um, what what we think um, caused it was, she smoked a lot. She drank a little bit, and I think we think my dad and we think that it led to like a heart attack or something um, with her organs. It wasn't like she just died of natural causes. Before my mom passed away, it wasn't really a a really Christian life for me. I mean, I went to church a couple times, here and there, but it wasn't like a consistent thing, and I didn't really get into the whole Christian life. But after she passed away, it was like a big hitter. It seemed like God was calling me and saying that, hey, I want you. I moved to Peshtigo during like the last few months of Menominee. I was so hardcore against moving to Peshtigo, moving to a new school, not knowing anybody. Going to school in Peshtigo was hard. It the kids they didn't really they treated me nicely for the first few months because I was going through a hard loss, and they it's just a sign of sympathy that you should give to somebody who just went through a really hard loss like that. And so, after a few months of school went by, a couple kids, like they're picking on me, wanted to, bullying me, wanted to beat me up, and I was that kid back in 7th and 8th grade who wanted to beat the other person up too because, hey, somebody wants to fight me, I'm gonna stand, I'm gonna try beating them up too. That's just how it was in 7th and 8th grade. Second year, Peshtigo, my 8th grade year, it was a little bit better. You still had that one kid that wanted to beat you up, and I didn't really care if he wanted to beat me up or not. I wasn't really scared of him. So I started building, friendships at Peshtigo, mainly in my 8th grade year, and I'm glad that the friends that I did build friendships with, they helped me through a lot. Just school. Um, uh, if I had like a problem or something, like they knew the answer to it. I heard of a thing called Disciple Now, and I was really curious on what Disciple Now was, so I decided to go to it. And the discussions that we had on the Bible of Romans 12 was really great. Our leaders were great, leading these discussions, asked us really great questions on what we thought of the scripture. But then on Saturday night, when we came back to church, Pastor Tim asked us if we wanted to accept Jesus as Lord, and I felt the calling of needing to accept Jesus as Lord. I accepted Jesus as Lord my first year at Disciple Now, and I felt, you know, I felt like there was some doubts. Like I knew that I accepted Jesus and you only had to do it once, but it didn't seem like anything changed for me. And so when I went to my second Disciple Now last year, it it was another time where I accepted Jesus, just because those doubts throughout that time kind of like went away, and so I wanted to make sure like I fully accepted Jesus, because that was something that I really wanted to do. So since my second Disciple Now, I've done some really cool, interesting things. I went on my first mission trip last year, and I got to become part of a small group. That was Becoming part of my small group was like a really great experience because of how far we've came together. Through this last year, we've really got to really know each other, and we've grown so close that I would consider them like my brother, like my new family. Um, they've really helped me with you know getting out of the struggles that I've had in my past. They're still keeping me accountable for the struggles that I'm in, and helping me not having to fall into that struggle, or whatever it is. They are part of my family, and I'm really really thankful that God has written my story to where I get to have that opportunity of having a small group, to have that close of a friendship with these guys. It's so good. And the things that may happen now, like the horrible things that have happened in my past, God sees way further in your future, and how He's going to write your story, and how the opportunities of the opportunities that He's going to have for you to just completely grow. And at the time, when my mom passed away, I didn't really think that there was going to be like a future. Like I thought like that was like the end. And so now that God has brought this small group to in front of me, and now that I've been part of it, it's really helped me spiritually. And now that God has been writing my story, I know that my future is going to be secure in Him.